Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons LALATE. How are you? It's a big day across the board, and I'm so excited for you. Unless you are low sodium tolerant. Forced stimulus is heating up, and the only thing that's not heating up is the amount of salt. Why? Because minutes ago, a group debuted themselves, not a rock group, not a Calcino group, a group of legislators called the Salt Caucus. I can't do this anymore. They're the Problem Solvers 2020 version turned into 2021, and yes, some actual problem creators are now in the Salt Caucus. So, what does the Salt Caucus want to do if you're forced stimulus and forced stimulus check and forced stimulus package? I need a side of lemon for this one. In this video, I'll go over why the Salt Caucus is heating up and maybe getting a little too spicy for the situation. This is Afternoons LA. Someone just dropped in the comments, Amanda, I don't have time to watch unless something's breaking. Something's breaking. And I'm going to tell you that at the very end of the 30 minutes, Amanda, so stay to the very end. Just kidding. Something is breaking, and it's the Salt Caucus. And, it has one of those names that sort of sounds like it's Taco Tuesday announcement. It doesn't sound like it's for Thursday, but it happened minutes ago. A series of bipartisan leaders could be derailing the forced stimulus package if they have their way. Well, guess what? They're not going to have their way. I'm going to explain to you who the Salt Caucus is, what they suddenly announced, and how that could impact your monthly stimulus checks on the forced stimulus package. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Meantime, the president's about to go live any minute. I will cut into that live broadcast as soon as he does. Let's cut to the deliciousness before we have to add some salt to it. Here we go. If you're sodium intolerant for this, then tune away. Tune away. This is the big deliciousness at hand. Hold the salt for this one. Forced stimulus would give monthly stimulus checks from at least July to December. If you're a Democratic senator, if you're a House Democrat, you want to give more than this. Even I'll go over that in a second. Look at this deliciousness. Don't even eat salt for this one. $8,400 for single individual. $12,000 for if it was even higher. And if we're talking about the House members, even bigger. House members, senators, how does it differ? And what's going on with some salt? Hold the sugar. Get out of head. Just a pinch of salt could absolutely throw this off the rails. What's going on? House members want to give you stimulus checks for pandemic plus 1 year. So pandemic plus 1 year would be 16 months of checks, 20 months of checks. How many more months until this pandemic's over? No one really knows at the moment. Let's say it's December. Well, that's 6 months away approximately, plus 12 months, that's 18 months of checks. 18 months of anything, $1,000 a month is $18,000. Yes. $18,000. It's enormous. Then the senators, they want to pay you more, but over a shorter period of time. So front-loaded, as you would often say. They want to pay you a larger sum of money for a shorter period of time, from now to December. That's 6 months of checks. But insiders' word on the street is about $2,000 a month. That's $12,000, but faster. So what would you prefer? In this video, I want to be a little bit more interactive. This is my last live video of the day. Coming up later today is Afternoons LA's huge broadcast in 2 hours from now. And then followed by that is Evenings LA, 2 hours after that. And then the debut of our new show, LA Late Night. And I have a big surprise for you about that show coming up later. Here again is what's coming up later today. Afternoons LA comes back with another show at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by Evenings LA at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those time slots you have already seen before. Those are the same time slots, no change. But the change is the new show, LA Late Night. And you're going to get a preview of it in this video. And boy, you're going to laugh. It's important to understand is, what would you like? Would you like more money Would you like less money but front loaded, or would you like more money over time? Let me give you the options. The House members, if it was 18 months at $1,000, it'd be $18,000, but it would take 18 months to get the money. Whereas the senators would be paying you potentially $16,000 or $14,000 in just 6 months. You get less money, but faster, nearly, half a year faster. Would you like less money faster or more money slower? Drop in the comments right now, faster or slower. I personally think viewers would prefer faster. A new report from the Federal Reserve says that about 50% of all stimulus money from first and second and third stimulus package has been put in the bank. People don't spend all their stimulus checks. They put about 30, 40, 50% of the money in the bank. That means, if that's the case, you rather get them more money on the you rather get a little bit less money but earlier on the come rather than wait 18 months to get that big moolah. And let's turn back to that calculation, that money again, and let me see some of your comments. So if you're looking at the senators, look at this, $12,000 if they did $2,000 a month over 6 months. Faster, says John. It's Jacqueline says faster. Sharon says faster. Everyone's saying faster. Mark is saying faster. Edwin faster. No, Michelle went slower. Mostly went faster. So here is if it's faster. If it's faster, 8,000, 12,000. If it's slower, it's 18,000, but it takes a year and a half to get it. I think it would be faster. Faster would be better, but you do have more longer, says Diane. Absolutely. Most people are saying faster, and I agree. Here is why today's development is so shocking. I mean, today feels like it's 2020 reruns. Why does it feel like the day started with Nancy Pelosi becoming the Temple of Doom once again? I'm not covering on this channel because it doesn't really cover the subject of this channel. She was presented something about Supreme Court nominees. She said, no way, no how. Don't come back to me with that. She was in pure Temple of Doom form again. And then this. The problem creators are back. Oh, my goodness. Remember the problem creators last year? Or they called themselves the problem solvers. Well, guess what? They have a new group. They're going on tour. It's called the SALT Group. The who? The what? The SALT Group. Now, when I first heard it, I thought, oh, is this something I was supposed to know? I mean, just, is this something I'm supposed to have already known? No. They had a press conference. They have a logo. Yeah, they have a logo. They have a billboard. And guess what? It's Josh again. It's Representative Josh Gothenhart of New Jersey, the problem solver from last year, and Tom Suzy of New York, co-chairs of the group. If this sounds familiar, yeah, it's problem creator, problem solver 2.0. So what happened today, and what does this mean for your fourth stimulus? It means everything. Minutes ago, this group of bipartisan House members held a press conference and called for the repeal of the $10,000 ceiling cap limit on state and local deductions on a tax return that was put in the 2017 Republican tax bill. Currently on the Republican tax bill, you cannot deduct more than $10,000 on your state for state and local deductions. Well, that provision is now under fire. Those Democratic and House members who are part of the, quote, SALT caucus have now said that they will not, repeat, not support a fourth stimulus package unless it involves repealing the $10,000 limit on state and local deductions. They will not accept any change to the tax code from the President of the United States that does not allow the deductions. You've been hearing a lot about SALT in relations to the infrastructure bill, they said today, but not everyone's on the same page on the legislation. Leader Schumer actually supports scrapping the SALT cap, and he does push supporting getting rid of it. When asked today whether the president would support getting rid of the SALT cap, The press secretary said there's no determination. The SALT cap, many have believed, only benefits the top 20% of American households. But the SALT caucus claims it helps the middle class as well. So this is very, very surprising. Meantime, there is also a new report out today that a economic security project has now said there's support for more stimulus checks. A new report out from Bank Rate Survey today found that most people think that there should be monthly stimulus checks going on. Adam Rubin, campaign chairman, says we need at least one more check. Evidence of the last year shows the stimulus checks to be the fastest and most important impact on this economy. Wow. So let me recap where you are so far. First, the second report is, it's just another person saying we need stimulus checks every month. You know that. I know that. It's just another push for monthly stimulus checks. But that first item is very important. It's very important for so many reasons. It's basically a group of Democratic House members that are saying that they will not vote in favor of anything from the president unless it repeals the SALT caucus. Now, these are House members. You understand that under the Senate, you can't lose a single senator or you're in trouble because you need unanimous senatorial approval. That's the Manchin issue. You need every senator to support it. Well, can you get away with losing an individual House member to get the bill out the door? Let me show you that analysis right now. The issue at hand is whether they can simply slide away from losing a certain Democrat. No, the Democrats hold only a 218 to 212 majority. It's unclear how many members of the SALT caucus are Democrats, but this is what you need to know. You don't want it big. You don't want this movement to grow. You don't want this movement to grow. 218 to 212. It means that even if you had dissenters under the SALT caucus, you could do about 6 dissenters who are potential Democrats in the SALT caucus that'll say, we're not going to sign anything unless. As we sit here right now, we don't know how many dissenters there are that could try to derail for stimulus. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's a lot of people. Let me make it even simpler. The press conference only had a few people standing there. So it wasn't like there was 50 people staying at the press conference. Meantime, let me jump into the live chat and interact with you as we go into a big Afternoons LALATE. Nancy, I love your show. Well, I appreciate that. Tonight's Afternoons LALATE is going to be a blast. There's Alicia. I really don't understand all these scenarios. Well, what you need to understand is very simple. You want as many Democrats to support the same thing, and that every time you lose a Democrat, it's a big issue. When do people get the stimulus check, the fourth stimulus? Brandon, great question. So we would be talking about around July. Why? We absolutely know exactly when it would likely land. Let's look at the graphic. So the Congress goes on recess in July. They have to do the bill before July. Speaker Pelosi says the vote's in July. Leader Schumer says the vote's in July. The last stimulus check, the first round of stimulus checks went out within 5 days after it became law. Now, I know some of you, it's still a month later, you haven't gotten the third stimulus check. But at least the first stimulus checks went out within 5 days of it becoming law. So if it became law in early July or late June, you would get the first stimulus check in July. Great question. Let me jump into more of the questions. People who disagree with this are crazy. So you're saying that we're probably not going to get another package? Oh, no, I didn't say that. Not at all. I'm just telling you that there is a new caucus of a few people who say, when I get the bill, I want something in there, and I'm demanding that thing in there. That means nothing. Ultimately, what I always deliver for this channel is I deliver you all the things at issue, and ultimately I come back to the summary. I give you the detail what happened on Wall Street today, what happened in the economic news, the job market, the retail sales. They may be good, they may be good, may not support stimulus, may support stimulus, but it's important to understand where the dimes are falling so that you can understand the data. And in the final analysis, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not getting anything. It's just part of the analysis. How many items do you think are going to be in the fourth stimulus? Jenny asks. Oh boy. That's a great question. The HEROES Act of 2020 was 3,000 pages long. And as a member of this channel, you have seen the fourth stimulus law. It wasn't even 500 pages long. It wasn't even, I think it was less than 300 pages. How they went from 3,000 pages to 300 pages is because the value of the bill was so much smaller. This bill, the fourth stimulus, will likely be in the thousands of pages, I would think, because it's a much larger bill than the fourth stimulus package. And it may be a lot more complex. Why? Because the third stimulus package was a lot of renewing items or modifying items from a prior law. So what they did in the third stimulus is say, we're going to modify second stimulus and add $12, modify second stimulus and add $200. So they didn't have to write a new law completely across the board. They modified something from a prior bill. This time, they're not really doing that that extensively. So there will definitely be a lot of pages in this bill. Let me jump into the comments. Are they serious about fourth stimulus? They are. They are very serious. Let's look at where, and that comment comes from Sherry. Absolutely, very, very serious. In fact, they want to make themselves so clear that they're serious that they have written this numerous times. Let's go over the comparisons. First, the House members want to give you a stimulus check for the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators want to give you a stimulus check till December. And the senators show you how serious the situation is. The senators are the leaders of the Democratic congressional landscape. They are the movers and shakers of Congress. They are the ones that define the laws of this country while the Democrats are in control. They are demanding these in there. The House members are junior members. They're progressives. So they are not necessarily the movers and shakers. The senators are. The senators will not say the amount per month, but they say it's monthly to December. But word on the street is they want to pay about $2,000 a month or $1,400. Robbie, will the student loan debt forgiveness bill go into effect? Robbie, great question. So that is happening potentially either today or tomorrow, I believe. Now, remember, Robbie, there's two paths for the student loan debt forgiveness. There is a bill, but the determination for executive order is coming tomorrow. Miguel Cardona, who's your education secretary, his memo to the president's due tomorrow to say to the president whether or not he has executive authority to forgive student loan debt. Obama did forgive it and Trump did forgive it. So under that scenario, the president has executive authority to forgive $50,000 of student loan debt. That letter's due tomorrow. I've been reporting for over a week the president's about to announce that forgiveness either today or tomorrow. He may take more time. He's dealing with a lot of things else like Russia and Afghanistan today and yesterday. So maybe it'll be a little bit longer than we initially thought. Let me jump into some more of the quick questions. So do you think this $50,000 student loan forgiveness is still a thing? Spencer, absolutely. It actually is a thing. The President of the United States has now dispatched Cardona to prepare that memo, and that memo is due tomorrow. And that memo will be the determining factor for the president to make a decision whether he's going to do it. I believe he's going to do it. And that memo is based upon whether prior presidents have done it. They have. Obama and Trump both did it. The memo would be huge, and the executive order would be huge because 36 million Americans are currently carrying student loan debt and cannot buy or start businesses or buy homes because of that student loan debt. This would be a major event for this country. Let me jump into some more of the comments you have right now. What happened to hazard pay? says W. Barden. Hazard pay is one of those things that is, it's on the fringe. There's a couple things on the fringe, and there's a couple things dead center. Dead center, stimulus checks. Dead center, monthly stimulus checks. Dead center, student loan debt forgiveness. Dead center, EIDL grant and the business grants. Fringe at the moment, FPUC retro and hazard pay. Very, very fringe, not in the core of what's happening at the moment. That's why it's very important to understand what's really getting pushed and what's not getting pushed. Also, if you joined me yesterday and if you did not catch it, it's detailed tonight on Evenings L8 and later on Afternoons L8, that the $6,000 for the PUA replacement is new. That is a new item that is getting a major push across the board. And if you have more questions or comments, I'm in the live chat with you right now. Sherry, thank you for all you do. I appreciate that, Sherry. I got my first COVID shot up today and my arm still hurts. Janice. Sometimes it's the second shot that hurts, not so much the first shot. If you've not got your COVID shot, please do. It's absolutely wonderful. I got mine from Moderna in February. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. It depends on the person. Generally, for the Moderna, the first shot's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And the second one, you do feel your arm does hurt a little bit, like someone pushed it or hit it. Not too much. But then the next day, you do feel a bit tired. And then after that, you're fine. After that, you're fine. I mean, if you can deal with one day of tiredness, then you can deal with a shot. I mean, it's not much to worry about. Will there be more stimulus checks coming? There will. That is what's really big at issue. Forced stimulus is heating up, and that push is across the board for both the senators and those House members. And those forced stimulus is the result of a recon package. Who would get these forced stimulus? If you're on 75, if you make less than 75,000, if a household of 4 or less, and if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits. How come they haven't helped seniors? Well, it's important to understand that this payout would be for you. So this payout would be for you. Why can't we get IRS debt forgiveness? Oh, that's a good one. I got my 2 doses. Thank you for that comment, Virginia. Great question. There's Janice. My son turned 17 old in September. Will he qualify for the monthly check? I get that question a lot. I don't know the answer. I simply don't know the answer. I think that they do not, but we shall. Oh, she turned 17 in September. I think he's fine. It's if he turned 18 in September. The child tax credit is based upon 2022 situation. Let me explain the child tax credit. It's very peculiar and always takes a second to explain. Starting in the month of July, you're going to get a monthly check as an advance for next year. You don't have to pay it back. It has nothing to do with your tax return. It's just a very rare circumstance where the Congress agreed to pay you money a year ahead of time. This is money for what you would normally have had to wait for next year. So under that theory, people are always asking me, my child's turning this age. My thought, but I'm not 100% positive, is that it's based upon how old that child would be at the time of 2022's tax return being filed. If they are still 17 years or younger, you're fine. You're getting $250 a month starting the month of July this year. But if you're turning 18, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a little too complicated. We'll know a little bit closer as we get closer to the month of July. Has anyone gotten the email for the grant reminder? Jim 40. Yeah, that's a great question, Jim. So yes, an enormous number of viewers have. And on Afternoons L8 and Evenings L8 tonight, I detail exclusives about that. The grant letters went out in February, and they're really ramping up this week. If you applied for an EIDL grant anytime from March to May, and then again in July, then you're going to get that invite. It's not chronological, and they're coming in no order. But tonight I'm going to show you on Afternoons L8 later tonight and Evenings L8 who is getting them, and there is another vortex. There is. There's another vortex happening. And there we are. My son never received no stimulus, and they are 30, they're 31, 32. Will they get the 2000? So that's a great question, and that question is from Margarita. Thank you for that great question. One of the most common questions I get is people who didn't get a first, didn't get a second, and now haven't gotten a third. Or they didn't get a first, or they didn't get a second, they tried to fix it, didn't get a third. We have not gotten advisory from the IRS how to fix the third. We've not gotten advisory how to fix anything from IRS about children that are new, that they don't know about, or anything like that. So far, for fixing the first and second, it involves filing a tax return and requesting those missing stimulus checks. It's important for you to know that your personal tax return is due in May. I'm not a tax preparer, so I fully disclaim that I can't provide you tax advice. But so far, IRS has said that to request the missing first or second is done by filing a 2020 tax return. It is likely, but we're not known for certain, that missing a third check, which is still too early to claim it's missing, would also involve filing a tax return. But if they didn't get the first and second, they may not get the third if there was a problem with that as well. Let me jump back into the live chat and see any other questions. Great questions so far. I would recommend you take something like Tylenol before you get the second dose. Someone said. Sherry says, thank you for keeping us updated. Robbie says, are those reoccurring checks coming? Are they for everyone in the family? Great question, Robbie. Robbie Drown. Yes. So it's a household of 4. And let's look at the graphic. Household of 4. And so just like the third stimulus check, excuse me, up to a household of 4. Just like the third stimulus check, if there's a 4-person household, the household will get 1 check for 4 times the amount. So let's say husband and wife, 2 kids, they would get a check 4 times the amount. Great questions. And with that, join me later tonight. Join me later today or on nighttime if you're on the East Coast. Here is today's new programming schedule on this channel. Here we go. Coming up next is Afternoons LA's big broadcast. It's a huge monolith of broadcasts. It's about 1 hour from now, I guess, almost 2, 3. Yeah, it's at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's Afternoons LA's big broadcast, followed by Evenings LA, which you love, every night at 8 p.m. These are the same time slots that you've gotten used to over the last few days. Afternoons LA, big broadcast at 6 p.m., followed by Evenings LA 2 hours later at 8 p.m. And tonight, LA Late Night at 10 p.m. This is our new show. And what's in that show tonight? A new Javita Late and a new Sirloin. Yes! Sirloin takes on Javita Late tonight on LA Late Night. That's afternoons, then evenings, and then late night after that. Stay informed, stay focused. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Like this video and consider becoming a member. And I'll see you in about 2 hours from now as Afternoons LA kicks up.